bruises on the face.
I know, it seems pretty gruesome, but, you know, entertaining. And you go over to the stalls, and then you can actually, like, knock him into the stall, and there's somebody, like, in the stall, and he's, like, all weirded out.
Surprise!
But wait, who hasn't that happened to at some point or another?
Just the other day.
Maybe.
So, basically, you know, my 2 cents about this game is that, at least from the demo, I'm really impressed with the presentation of it. Even you know, the little things like the, you know, sort of like cinematic, like wall text appearing and like all these different presentation things. Like, I'm really impressed with how the game looks, sounds, and everything.
Yeah, the presentation of Splinter Cell has always been at a very high level, but how's the gameplay? How is actually doing all these moves? There's a lot of Splinter Cell has always been known for 2 seconds of action and then 10 minutes of cleanup. That's an exaggeration, but you know, it's like you kill the guy and then you gotta go carry his body for 60 seconds and then move on, and then it's really broke up the action. This was the biggest complaint on the onset of this game. Well, so is it amped up? They said they're going to amp it up. Pistol skills, better combat, insane kill moves. You know, this is what they're promising. Is it living up to any of that?
Well, I think with like this, you know, game. I mean, granted, the demo was very, very brief, but I feel like after a while you probably get into this rhythm because they have this new system where if you can get up and get a close-up kill, you can unlock an execute ability where you can basically
execute.
Yeah, you can basically mark your targets and then, you know, you'll press like the Y or whatever. Yeah, actually it's only 360, so Y, and then you'll finish off whoever you've marked. But you can only unlock the execute ability after you perform a close-up kill. Mm-hmm. So it gets into this rhythm where like, oh, I can isolate this guy over here, and then I can take him out with a close-up kill, and that way I can just get over to that corner and I can take out those 2 guys over there by using the execute ability.
But does it flow well?
From what I've seen so far, I mean, granted, you know, it's hard to say. It could have been just been like, you know, sort of like a vertical slice segment, but in the demo at least, I thought it worked out really well.
Yeah, the demo is probably when it'll work the best because they want to give you the easiest place it'll work. The place it'll definitely work. That's what they'll give you in the demo. And it's definitely looks good from what I've seen. Do you think it's going? Does everyone think, or does anyone think this is going in the right direction for Splinter Cell, or is the roots better?
I think the way they have it now works pretty well.
What do you mean by now?
Well, like the way they're evolving it too, because it's a much more.
So the conviction is good.
Yes,
okay.
It's a much more aggressive style of gameplay. Because before it was snipe out a guy or shoot him or take him out from the back, and then you're running around cleaning up bodies,
which was still fun. I mean, you know, it had it. It still was.
Yes. But it did tend to slow down the gameplay a bit. So then there's not that much of that anymore, where there's less cleanup and more action.
You're right.
But then when you look at the co-op mode, which is going to be approximated about 6 hours worth of co-op gameplay, that's
great.
like the chaos theory co-op, where it's nice tactical based, working with your team member, and it looks like a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's the one thing I was really disappointed about the demo, like, because that's the thing that's really going to draw me to this game, is because in the previous games, one of the things I really loved was the co-op and how, you know, you're working and coordinating with your teammate to, you know, perform these special missions and everything. And when you have that extra player in there, it just takes it to like a whole new level, which is why I really want to see how it works in Conviction.
All right. Yeah, I mean, I've always loved Splinter Cell, and I've never really had, like, you know, the full opportunity to get, you know, everything out of it that I always wanted. But I'm really looking forward to this game. Is just, you know, unless anyone wants to jump in with a strong opinion here, let's go around the room. Just put console aside. It will be released on PC. Okay, it'll be Xbox and PC. PC demo is not available. Okay. But will this be a purchase, GameFly, rental, not even going to touch it, borrow it from a friend? You know, let's just go around. What do you guys think? I guess I'll start with...
I thought it was a really, really great game, but I'm not going to rent it or buy it or anything.
So you won't touch it with a 10-foot pole?
No.
Right. And why is that? Is it just personal taste? Or?
It's just personal taste. Like, I don't like that kind of stealthy stuff. Like, it's really fun. I played through the demo twice already. But, like, really, it doesn't really appeal to me as much. I really love the cutscenes and how the integration, that was really cool. And how you could, like, execute enemies and go behind their backs. I never played a Splinter Cell game before, but it just doesn't appeal to my taste, which is why I'm not gonna rent it. But I mean, it's like a perfect game, pretty much.
Well, B North, what do you think? B North, are you interested in this?
Yeah. Okay. I haven't played the demo yet because I can't get live or whatever working here. But from what I've seen, I've never bought a Splinter Cell game before. I've played a little bit, but this actually looks pretty cool. Like one thing like we haven't mentioned yet, while they're loading, instead of just having like some like loading screen or whatever, they show cutscenes while it's loading to hide the loading screens. So they just it's just completely immersive as you stay in it instead of loading. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
that's great. That's something that the PS3 was promising on the onset. It was like, oh, just be like no loading times, and if there is, it's going to be awesome.
I mean, it's not the first time we've seen that happen, but with the presentation value of this game, like it really takes it, an extra step further. I'll just jump in and say what I think. I'm gonna lean towards a rental for this game. I played it, and the co-op is really what's gonna excite me about this game. But like, having played it, like, maybe it was just the difficulty I was playing on, but I ran into these situations where it'd be like, I would take out this guy, and then it really seemed like the two people should tell that, like, I just took out this guy, and they knew that he was taken out, and that I was literally, like, 2 feet away from the body, but, like, they didn't bother to, like, look there. Like, I ran into a couple situations where it just, like, clearly took me out of the experience. But I don't want to say that like it completely ruined it for me, but like those little things really.
Yeah, it's a stealth game. It's about like inches, and it's a very exact. I mean, if there's something that's in there that's just pulling you out of the stealth genre, that's a big problem.
Yeah, but mostly a rental for me because like the Splinter Cell franchise has never like really sold me before, but this game in particular is actually piqued my interest a little bit. I especially want to see what's going to happen with the co-op. So I'm definitely gonna check it out, but I can't exactly say I'm gonna buy it yet.
Tristan, what do you think?
I'd say I'd purchase it. I mean, I'm looking at it. I see it looks pretty interesting. A little more actiony than the others. I still like the whole stealthy aspect of it too. But now like co-op mode. I mean, I don't care how you're gonna do it, but you're gonna get this game even if you don't like it.
I would get it personally. I would get it if you got it.
Yeah.
Because then I would have a co-op person to play with on PC because you characters are on freaking console too much. But I mean, if you had it on PC, I would buy it.
Yeah.
No, I mean, maybe I'll wait for Steam sale, but I don't think this game will sell amazing, so it'll be lowered in price pretty soon.
Mm-hmm.
One problem I've got with the difficulty is I want to know like the whole mark and execute system that we've mentioned. Does that make some confrontations a little too easy? Because it seems like you could like looking at people playing the demos, like it seems like sometimes you can just do ridiculous things and it seems very easy to do.
No, I completely agree with you there. Like every once in a while you'll just get into this mode where it's like, oh, I see this one guy there, and then there's this big lineup of guys over there. All I have to do is take out this one guy here, and then I can take out all these different guys just by pressing, the Y button. So there are moments where it does get pretty easy, but, there are other moments where you aren't as, lucky and able to get that executability, and then, it goes back to the more traditional sort of Splinter Cell setup. But, yeah, I think it definitely makes the game easier as far as Splinter Cell games go.
Also, like, with the co-op in particular, apparently, like, one guy is able to mark, and then the other one can execute. I feel like that would make the problem even worse. Like, I mean, it just seems like you can do ridiculous things. Like, have one guy mark it, the other guy not anywhere near anything, and then just randomly pop out and be able to do crazy
That's
stuff.
That's a good point. Or it could be, like, very cooperative. Because then you could, like, work together. You mark you, and then, you could do some crazy things. But, I think, like, the biggest thing, I'm saying this, like, on a, like, weekly basis, is, like, when people make games nowadays, you gotta take Will Wright's advice. Video game first, whatever genre second. Because what are we doing here? We're making video games. It's gotta be a game first, and then whatever genre, stealth, blah, 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 second. Because, that's really important. So if it's a fun game, which is what it really is, I think that's, like, the most important thing.
Yeah, but
at the core of a game.
My problem with this, and, you're sort of bringing it up here, B North, like, it's with a lot of the Splinter Cell games, like, they really have all these awesome sequences where, like, you get up behind the guy and you grab him and you do this, or, like, you have your mark and execute and everything. But most of that stuff is actually pretty simple. It's like, you'll press a single button to perform, like, all those actions. and then you'll press maybe like another button to execute those actions. I mean,